welcome back to Level Uploading, Fight Feelings, Face Facts with yours truly, Shay.
Boy, if you don't...
In this journey, I am learning so much. In this journey, I am learning my faults. I am learning the things that I have done that contribute to the outcomes in my life. You know, a lot of times I feel like we want to blame the devil for stuff, or blame other people for victimizing us, or blame other people for using us, harming us, abusing us. We're this soft, delicate, fragile thing, and everyone else is out to get us.
Okay.
When we take ownership and accountability for the things that we have done, that is when we really grow. It is not healing to figure out who hurt you and blame them. It is healing to figure out who hurt you and forgive them. I don't want to discount that portion of the stages and the processes, but don't skip the part about you. Don't skip the part about what you did and how you were a factor in the way that you were treated.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You need to leave!
I was listening to a pastor. They were talking about how even Jesus had an inner circle. He had, his people, he had Peter, James, and John. He had 12 folks around him that he loved. These were his homies. I'm just putting this in layman's terms. These are his disciples. These are people he trusted to have around him to use to spread the word, to use to be in places that he was not able to be in his humanly form. And it was his inner circle. He had a circle of people around him, but Peter, John, and James was his inner circle. Those were the people that were closest to him and who he was able to really, truly, I guess I don't want to say he had favoritism towards them, but these were his faithful servants. And every circle, I'm not going to say every circle, but a lot of circles, they have a lot of people, and they also might have a Judas in the bunch. But I think on my journey, I'm learning to forget about the Judases, because everyone doesn't start off as Judas. Judas didn't even know he was going to be used by the enemy, by the devil, until it happened, until he was just a vessel. When Jesus was talking to them and he was saying, one of you guys are going to betray me, everyone was up in arms, like, who? Because none of them had that larceny, that deceit, and that betrayal on their heart. If you read the text, it literally says that the devil came upon it. It literally says that the devil possessed Judas to make him betray Jesus. And I'm just realizing that sometimes people who have betrayed us, yes, they did betray us, and yes, it does hurt, and you do have to dissect how that forgiveness looks. If that forgiveness looks like, hey, we need to take a step back, or if that means, hey, we need to have a conversation and this cannot happen again, however that may look. But we have to know that everyone around us is not just automatically starting off as a Judas. They could have intentions. They could have good intentions for you. They could have great desire to be a part of your inner circle, a great desire to be a helper to you, to elevate you. Sometimes God just uses people to get you to the next level, and that might sound so trash, especially in this world where we're so triggered by being used, but that is ultimately what life is really about, being used. If you're going to be used for good or evil, we're going to be used, and God uses people, places, and things to get us to where we're supposed to be.
Keep in mind that Judas was very instrumental in getting Jesus to his next destination. The duty of Jesus would not have been fulfilled if it were not for the betrayal of Judas. God uses Judas to get the job done.
Imagine your first job. You worked at McDonald's or you worked at wherever, and you stayed there for a few years. You got all your checks, and you're like, it's time for something more. It's time for something better. I'm ready for more money, more responsibility. I want to use, things that I've learned, and you tell them you put in your 2-week notice, and they say, well, you used us. Like, this was not my forever place. This was a stepping stone to get me to the next level, to get me to the next place, to get me some work history on my resume so that people can see that I have the capability to be a good employee. I am not abandoning you guys. I just have to go on to the next level. I have to go on to the next portion of this journey. And so, unfortunately, we don't look at people like that because we have attachment issues and we have attachment, to people, and we almost treat them as though we own them, and that once they are in our circle and once they are in our hearts, that they belong to us. And that's another topic for another day, but like literally, some people are just in your life to help you. And once that purpose has been fulfilled, their time is up. And vice versa, you are put in people's lives to help them. You are put in people's lives to get them to the next level. Believe it or not, that man, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view, that man who was down and out on his luck and didn't have anything and didn't have a place and didn't have a car and didn't have, yes, he did use you. And I'm not going to negate the fact that that feels terrible, but you have to really consider the fact that maybe God put that person in your life and you in that person's life. Instead of us always thinking about this person was put in my life to ruin it, think about you being used and you being put in someone's life to better it. And no, it might not last forever. And yes, it sucks to feel like you are being just used for what you can do and what you can be. But if you are being a tool from God to help someone, you have to really take a step back, put your ego to the side, put your attachment issues to the side, and really think about how awesome that is, that you have such value that you can be valuable to others. Now, that does not mean that you go around and be abusive and say, well, God is using you to help me. Like, that's not to be, predatory to people. But we definitely just have to understand that we are going to be used. We're here to work together. We need people. And in this season, with me just evaluating my friendships of old, my relationships of old, my family dynamics of old, we just have to kind of come into grips with the fact that we are being used, and sometimes it feels good and sometimes it doesn't. There are some people who do good things for you and they're using you. They're using you for that boost of dopamine that they get and that they feel from being of use to you, from helping people. Some people are using you to make you feel better, make themselves feel better about themselves. I'm not a big imitation is the highest form of flattery. I don't like that saying. I never have. I don't think God made any of us to imitate each other. We can learn from each other. We can, build off each other. But imitation is not flattery to me. It has a sense of envy or jealousy laced in there, and it can turn from an admiration into a passionate dislike. Because guess what? No matter how much someone tries to imitate what you do, they can either do it better, they can do it worse, but they can never do it exactly like you would do it. Because they are not you. You are one of a kind. You are a fingerprint. Even twins have different personalities. Even twins have different ways that they would go about handling things. So if a person that has your whole entire face and DNA, talking about identical, of course, if they even do things differently, what would a person that is not your, your your twin, they're not going to be able to duplicate what you do. They can get close. They can actually exceed. They can take your blueprint and go above and beyond. But they will never do it exactly how you do it. They will never have your insights, and you're only competing with yourself. Once you realize that, you'll have much better experiences with people. You'll have much better experiences with relationally. You'll be able to understand, like, hey, this person is learning from me. I'm okay with people learning from me, but I do not like copycats. I have grown up with little cousins and a little sister. That is the extent of my copycat. Like, even as a child, I was just very individualized. Like, I wanted to be my own person, and that is something I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be working on or if it's a good thing. I know that God will reveal that to me in due time if it is. But I don't like people copying me. You can learn from me. You can grow from me. You can figure out things. I can help you. But do it your own way. Put your own spin on it. Don't copy my answers from the test, because your test might look different from my test. If you copy the Scantron, I don't know, y'all might not be old enough to know about them Scantrons, but if you copy the letters verbatim, C-A-A-A-C, C, B, D, who's to say that our questions are in the same order? Who's to say that? So you're just copying off my paper, and you are getting all the answers wrong, because guess what? We don't have identical tests. So in this journey, I'm just learning to take people for what they are, understand that I'm going to be used, understand that I'm going to use other people. That is literally God's favor. Sometimes God sends people into your life to help you to grow. And it can be a lesson, it can be a blessing, but it's going to help you grow regardless. And you have to be okay with that, because just like I've used people, not necessarily intentionally, but they've been used. They probably felt used. People have used me. It would be hypocritical for me to think that I could go around benefiting from others and no one would benefit from me. Why do we not want people to benefit from us? Like, knowing me is a flex. Having me in your circle, having me in your rooting section is amazing. It really is, because guess what? Ultimately, I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be resourceful. I'm going to root for you genuinely and with no ill intent. It's a flex to know me. And so I just think that it's time that I start acting like that, and I start treating other people that way as well. Everyone is not a Judas. Everyone doesn't have ill intent. We have to learn on this journey that some things are just for a season and some things stand the test of time. But at the end of the day, I do want my Peter, John, and James. I want my crew. I want my Loctite crew that I know have my back, that I never have to worry about. And I know God is mentally preparing me for that, spiritually, mentally, and He's getting me ready to be the person who I need to be in order to attract and keep those healthy relationships. So I hope you guys are trying to find your healthy friendships, and I hope this episode was helpful for you. Have a good one. I will definitely see you on the next one. Love you. Bye.